So, the word in Tevat and in the streets of Mondstadt, specifically in this cathedral, is that there's a gothic nun walking around that's thicker than a Snickers, and you're looking to pull for her in version 1.4. And when you build her out, you're not sure if you should build her as a physical DPS or as a cryo DPS. Well, I'm here to provide you some information and maybe give you some more insight on which way you want to go when building out your Rosaria. So, I do hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do, go ahead and drop a like. It helps out the channel tremendously. And if you really enjoyed the video and you like the other videos on the channel here, well then consider subscribing, join the FBG family, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So, all jokes aside, we are going to be talking about the girl Rosaria. I'm not joking about her being thick, by the way, but other than that, we are going to be talking about Rosaria because she is coming in version 1.4, and I know a lot of people are excited for her, including myself, but I have had a few questions about how you should build her, whether it should be physical or if you should build her as like a cryo DPS, so I hope to answer that in today's video, and I do hope you subscribe. We're so close to 25,000 subscribers. Help us reach that major milestone, but let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So, my quick 2 cents, if you want to know exactly what I'm thinking right off the bat, I'm thinking that you're gonna build her, the best way to build her is physical and not cryo, and we'll get into that here in just a second. So with her stat progression on her ascension, she does have the stat progression of attack percentage, which is decent. You know, you would love to see crit damage or crit rate, but it is a 4-star, and I think they might reserve that primarily for 5 stars, but nonetheless, attack percentage, it's fine. I'm okay with it. Now, if you take a look at her base attack for polearm users, it's not bad. At level 80 is 223. If we take a look at the other polearm users, we all know that Xiao is the highest, but if we take a look at Xiangling, hers is 210 at level 80, so Rosaria is higher than hers. And then if we take a look at Zhongli's, it's 233, so Rosaria is just slightly lower than Zhongli's, which is not bad. It's good for polearm users, so I'll definitely take it. Now, if we take a look at her basic attacks, it's very standard, performs up to 5 consecutive spear strikes. She has a charge attack, which is very similar to Hu Tao's and Xiangling's. And then she has the plunging attack, of course. And then the stat progression does not look bad in my opinion. It looks pretty decent. Now, her elemental skill and her elemental burst are all cryo, so that's where some people are getting the idea to build her cryo, which is understandable, and I'm not saying cryo is the wrong way to go with her. You definitely will be able to do some good damage and it be beneficial. I'm just saying I think physical is going to be the better way to go. But if you take a look at her elemental skill, the Ravaging Confession, Rosaria swiftly shifts her position to appear behind her opponent. She does like a substitution jutsu and then stabs and slashes them with her polearm, dealing cryo damage. Now, keep in mind this ability cannot be used to travel behind opponents of a larger build. So if they're larger than Rosaria, basically bosses, larger enemies, she's not going to be able to do this, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. She's going to be able to do this on smaller enemies. It's not bad. It has a great cooldown of only 6 seconds, which is really nice. So it's almost going to be spammable in a sense once you're going through your rotations and things of that nature. And the stat progression on it is not too bad. It's pretty good. I like it. And then if we take a look at her elemental burst, which I think is going to be pretty decent. Rites of Termination, Rosaria's unique take on this prayer ritual. First, she swings her weapon to slash surrounding opponents. Then she summons a frigid ice lance that strikes the ground. Both actions deal cryo damage. While active, the ice lance periodically releases a blast of cold air, dealing cryo damage to surrounding opponents. Now, the periodic blast of cold air, from what I can see, is pretty consistent, so she's going to be a great character that you can pair with your pyro users like Hu Tao or Diluc or any other. She's just going to fit good on a team comp because I think she's going to be one of those characters that you can consistently rely on to apply the cryo damage with the elemental burst at least. So it's going to be nice there. It does have a, once again, decent skill damage. The Ice Lance duration of time, or duration of damage, excuse me, you can see right there, and the duration of time is 8 seconds, a cooldown of 15 seconds, and energy cost of 60. Pretty decent, nothing like to write home about. It's pretty decent, but once again, you're going to be able to rely on her to apply the cryo damage, at least on her elemental burst, to be able to apply the cryo effect for your pyro users or whoever else you're looking to pair with her, whether it be Fischl and another electro user, things of that nature. Now, if we take a look at her passive talents, when Rosaria strikes an opponent from behind using Ravaging Confession, Rosaria's crit rate increases by 12% for 5 seconds. Very, very nice. She goes ahead and buffs her own crit rate, and it's for 5 seconds, but you have to make sure you strike an opponent from behind, so that's going to be using her elemental skill, so not bad. Now, the second passive, Casting Rites of Termination, which is her elemental burst, increases crit rate of all nearby party members by 15% of Rosaria's crit rate for 10 seconds. So that is nice because she has that supporting capability to be able to buff your allies' crit rate, so that way when you switch over to your pyro user, they're going to be able to do some dummy damage, and it's going to be really nice to see, especially once again paired with like Hu Tao or Diluc. They're just the first ones that come to my mind as like a team comp or team build, but obviously any party member or team comp that you put together that's going to be a good one is going to be able to benefit from this. So very nice. So as of right now, we're seeing everything CRYO, crit rate increase, things of that nature. But where I believe she's going to be a physical damage dealer and you should build her physical is within her constellations. I understand you got to get constellations. She's the 4-star. Should be relatively decently easy to do this. But once again, I don't expect you to get constellations on her, and I don't think you have to. But if you were, this is where that physical damage dealing build is going to come and become really prevalent. So if we take a look at C1, when Rosaria deals a crit hit, her attack speed increases by 10% and her normal attack damage increases by 10% for 4 seconds. It's that normal attack damage in conjunction with the attack speed that's really nice for a physical damage build, because the normal attack is physical damage, and you're going to want to build up her crit rate because it's upon a crit hit, which in her passive one, if you don't remember, using her elemental skill, it increases her crit rate. If you build her up with some decent crit rate as well, it's going to be almost guaranteed that you get this off, and you're going to have that normal attack damage increase. Really, really nice, as well as the attack speed. And then if we take a look at C2, the duration of the Ice Lance created by Rites of Termination is increased by 4 seconds. That's just with her elemental burst being able to be more consistent and last longer. Really nice for team comps. C3 is just upgrading her talents, and then C4, Painful Grace, Ravaging Confessions, crit hits regenerate 5 energy for Rosaria, can only be triggered once each time Ravaging Confession is cast. That's just getting some energy back for her. C5 is another talent upgrade. And then C6, Rites of Terminations, attack decreases opponent's physical resistance by 20% for 10 seconds. Right there kind of states it, that it reduces their physical resistance, so it's going to allow your physical damage dealing attacks to be able to do more damage. In conjunction with C1 is going to be very nice. And then also if you switch over to a physical damage dealer like Jean, Razor, whoever else, it's going to be really nice for them as well. So because of her constellation specifically, and in my opinion, you're going to be doing normal attack the most often, her basic attack strings look pretty nice as well. It's not the most, incredible ones, but nonetheless it still looks great. She looks like she's going to be attacking fairly quickly, and that's what you're primarily going to be doing, in my opinion. I think a physical damage build is going to be the way to go. Make sure the crit rate is decently high. Make sure you're trying to get as much crit damage as possible. Her attack is going to be pretty high as well based off of her stat progression. I think the physical damage build is going to be the way to go. But once again, if you build your CRYO, it's not going to be wrong, and you're not going to be building her incorrectly, because CRYO is still going to be very beneficial because of her elemental skill, because of her elemental burst. It's not going to be bad, but I think if you're asking me which is the better way to go, in my opinion, it is going to be the physical damage route. But once again, this is just on paper, and this is just what I'm seeing right now. It could be different when she officially releases, and we'll just have to wait for that when she officially drops to see how it's looking. But in my opinion, she's going to be a physical damage dealer, and a pretty damn decent one at that. So anyways, guys, that's what I had for you today. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below what you would like to see next, and let me know in the comments down below how you're going to be building your Rosaria, if you were going to build her at all. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you like what you saw, and I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond it, everything that you do. And until next time, my boys, until next time, it's your homie Cody GT, and I'm out. Bye, guys.